everyone. I'm Darshani, Assistant Professor of Mathematics. In this session, we are going to learn about one of the beautiful theorem in calculus. Calculus is a widely applied branch of mathematics in physics, chemistry, engineering, technology, and so on. Calculus is a study of change. Before Newton and Leibniz, there are so many mathematicians, so many Indian mathematicians used calculus in their work, directly or indirectly, but the actual credit of discovering calculus goes to Leibniz and Newton. And who discovered first? That is still a controversy, whether Leibniz or Newton. But we believe that Newton and Leibniz both discovered calculus independently, and they are credited to that. There is one more coincidence happened in case of Leibniz and Newton. The binomial theorem is one of the well-known theorem proved by Newton. Here in calculus we have a similar theorem, looks alike to the binomial theorem, which was proved by Leibniz. In this session, I am going to state and prove the theorem which was proved by Leibniz. First, let u and v be the functions of x. Functions of x. And y be equal to u into v. Now we need to find out the nth derivative of this product. For that, first I start with y equal to uv. Let me denote y as y0 for the sake of notation. If y0 means y, u0 means u, v0 means u, v, and u1 is the first derivative of u, v1 represents the first derivative of v. Similarly, un, vn and yn represents the nth derivative of u, v and y respectively. First, differentiate this product with respect to x. I get y1 is equal to u1v plus uv1. This is by product rule. Now again differentiate y1 with respect to x. Here we get y2. Apply product rule for this. We get u2v1, u2v plus u1v1 plus u1v1, applying product rule to this term, u1v1 plus uv2, or u2v, these two terms are like terms, so we get 2u1v1 plus uv2. Okay, so here we have first derivative. This is the product. Here I can take n equal to 0, here n equal to 1, n equal to 2. Similarly, if I differentiate again, I get y3 is equal to u3v plus 3u2v1 plus 3u1v2 plus uv3. Okay. We can continue like this. So here I have first derivative, second derivative and the third derivative. Observing this pattern, I try to write the nth derivative, yn or uv of n. First you observe that for the first derivative, here we have two terms. For the second derivative, we have three terms. For the third derivative, we have four terms. Obviously, for the nth derivative, here I should get n plus 1 number of terms. That is the first observation. And the second observation, every terms contain a derivative of u and a derivative of v. Here we have u3v, u2v1, u1v2, uv3 and so on. Every term has a derivative of u and a derivative of v. Here in nth derivative, every term should contain a derivative of u and a derivative of v. First let me write uv plus okay. And the next observation, here we are finding the first derivative. The order of derivative of u is 1 here and here we have 0. For v, 0 and 1. For y2, the order of u started at 2, 1 and 0. For v, 0, 1 and 2. For y3, the order of derivative of u starts at 3 and at 0, 3, 2, 1 and 0. For v, 0, 1, 2 and 3. What we observe here is, for the third derivative, the order of derivative of u starts at 3 and at 0, and the order of other function starts at 0 and at 3. Here for nth derivative, the order of one function should start at n and at 0, and the order of the other function should start at 0 and ends at n. Here for n, if I take un, here I should get un minus 1, n minus 2, etc. u0. u0 is u. For v starts at 0, that is v0 is v, v1, v2, v3, etc. vn. Okay, now let us come to the coefficients. If you observe the coefficients here, we get a beautiful pattern. Here I have only 1, the coefficient is 1. Here we have 1 and 1, 1, 1. For this is for n equal to 0, this is for n equal to 1, this is for n equal to 2, 1, 2, 1. For n equal to 3, we have 1, 3, 3 and 1. Similarly, if I find out the fourth derivative, I should get here n4, 1, 4, 6, 4 and 1. This is well known as Pascal's triangle. The sum of 1 and 1 is 2. The sum of 1 and 2 is 3, 2 and 1 is 3. Here 1, 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4, and so on. In fact, the coefficients are exactly equal to, for 1, this is 1C0, this is 1C1. For 2, this is 2C0, 2C1 and 2C2. For 3, this is 3C0, 3C1, 3C2 and 3C3. For the fourth derivative, the coefficients are equal to 4C0, 4C1, 4C2, 4C3 and 4C4. Again, we have a beautiful pattern. We can easily predict the coefficients of nth derivative. For 1, 1C0, 1C1. For 3, 3C0, 3C1, 3C2. For n, it should be NC0, NC1, etc. NCn. And this theorem which is similar to the binomial theorem which was proved by Newton, is known as Leibniz theorem. Leibniz theorem. So this is the statement. For a function of x, u and v, the product, the nth derivative of the product uv is given by this relation. Now let us prove this theorem using mathematical induction. Let us see how mathematical induction works. In mathematical induction, we have two steps. To prove that a proposition P of n is true for all n belongs to n, first in the step 1, I prove that P of 1 is true. And then in the step 2, we assume that P of k is true, and then we prove that P of k plus 1 is true. Combining these two steps, we conclude that P of n is true for all n belongs to n. How is it possible? Here in the first step, I have shown P of 1 is true. In the next step, if P of k is true, then P of k plus 1 is true. If I put k equal to 1, I get P of 2 is also true. If I put k equal to 2, I get P of 3 is also true. Continuing this way, I get P of n is true for all n belongs to n. So this is about mathematical induction. Proof. For n equal to 1, y is uv. If I differentiate with respect to x, I differentiate this with respect to x. I get y1 is equal to u1v plus u into v1. This is by product rule. Here we have 1 as a coefficient. 1 is equal to 1c0. Here we have 1. 1 is equal to 1c1. So if you observe here, this results holds good for n equal to 1. Therefore, the results holds good for n equal to 1. Next, I am going to assume that this result holds good for n equal to k, and then I am going to prove that the result holds good for n equal to k plus 1. Now let me assume that the result is true for n equal to k. Let us assume that the result is true for n equal to k. Okay. So what we get? Yk is equal to kc0 uk v plus kc1 uk minus 1 v1 plus and so on. I am going to write a general term in the middle of the expansion, kcr minus 1 u. Here if you observe, here we have kc1, we have uk minus 1. So for kcr minus 1, we should get u k minus r minus 1, that is k minus r plus 1. And for kc1, here we have v1. For kcr minus 1, we should get vr minus 1. And the next term will be kcr u k minus r, vr, plus and so on, and the last term will be kck u vk. Now to show that the result holds good for n equal to k plus 1, I am going to differentiate this equation with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x. Here we get yk plus 1. Yk plus 1 is equal to kc0 is a constant. To differentiate this product, apply product rule. I get uk plus 1 v plus uk v1 plus kc1 into differentiating this product, I get uk v1 plus uk minus 1 v2. Okay, plus and so on. Differentiating this term, I get kc r minus 1 into uk minus r plus 2 v r minus 1 plus uk minus r plus 1 vr plus differentiating this term, I should get kc r into uk minus r plus 1 vr plus uk minus r vr plus 1. And the last term, if I differentiate, I get kck into u1 into vk plus u into vk plus 1. Okay. Now if you observe here I have uk into v1, uk into v1. I can take that as common. Similarly here I have uk minus r plus 1 into vr, uk minus r plus 1 into vr. We can take that as common. If I rewrite this equation, I get yk plus 1 is equal to kc0 into uk plus 1 v plus, I am taking these two as common, I get kc0 plus kc1 into uk v1 plus and so on. Taking these two terms as common, I get kc r minus 1 plus kc r into uk minus r plus 1 into vr plus and so on. The last term will be equal to kck into u vk plus 1. Okay. Let me rewrite this equation as it is here. Okay, to simplify this equation, I am going to use three relations of combinations, permutation and combination, which you have studied in your PUC. The first one is kc0 is nothing but 1, so as k plus 1 c0, k plus 1 c0 is also equal to 1. Okay, and the second relation I am going to use here is kck is also equal to 1, and so as k plus 1 c k plus 1. And the last relation, very important relation I am going to use here, is kcr minus 1 plus kcr is nothing but k plus 1 cr. This is the proof you have learnt in your PUC. Consider kcr minus 1 plus kcr. By the formula, kcr minus 1 will be equal to k factorial by k minus r plus 1 factorial divided by r minus 1 factorial plus kcr will be equal to k factorial by k minus r factorial into r factorial. So this is the actual formula I have used. Okay. Now I can take k factorial as common in the numerator, k minus r factorial as common in the denominator, similarly r minus 1 factorial as common in the denominator. If I take this as common, here I remain with k minus r plus 1. This is k minus r plus 1 into k minus r factorial. So here we have k minus r plus 1. Here I remain with r. This r factorial is nothing but r into r minus 1 factorial. We have taken r minus 1 factorial as common. So I have got r. Now if you take LCM and simplify this term, I get in the numerator r plus k minus r plus 1 divided by r into k minus r plus 1. Next, simplifying this, I get here k factorial into k plus 1, which is nothing but k plus 1 factorial, and k minus r plus 1 into k minus r factorial is k minus r plus 1 factorial. I have rewritten this term as k plus 1 minus r factorial, and r into r minus 1 factorial is nothing but r factorial. If you observe this, by comparing this formula, this is nothing but k plus 1 c r. So this proves the relation. Okay. If I use those relations here, I get kc0 is k plus 1 c0, uk plus 1 v plus, applying this formula here, I get this is nothing but k plus 1 c1, uk v1 plus and so on. This is nothing but k plus 1 cr, k plus 1 cr, uk minus r plus 1 vr and so on. And the last term will be kck. Kck is nothing but k plus 1 c k plus 1, k plus 1 c k plus 1 u vk plus 1. Okay. As we observed earlier, for the nth derivative, the order of u starts from n, ends at 0, and the order of v starts at 0 and ends at n. Here for k plus 1, the order of u starting at k plus 1, k ending at 0, for v 0, 1 and ending at k plus 1. And the coefficients, there we had nc0, nc1 up to ncn. For k plus 1 we have here k plus 1 c0, k plus 1 c1 up to k plus 1 c k plus 1. Exactly, there are k plus 2 terms. So the result is true for k plus 1. Therefore, the result holds good for n equal to k plus 1. Okay. First we proved that the result is true for n equal to 1. Then we assumed that the result is true for n equal to k. Using that relation, we proved that the result holds good for n equal to k plus 1. Therefore, the Leibniz theorem holds good for all natural numbers. And therefore, Leibniz theorem holds good for all n belongs to n. This completes the proof of Leibniz theorem.